Priya was 31, earning $58,000 a year as a project manager in Austin, Texas. She was careful with money, paid her bills on time, had a small emergency fund. But every April, she'd hear coworkers talk about funding their IRA and wonder, what exactly is an IRA, and am I missing something? Turns out, she was. She had unknowingly left $7,000 in tax-advantaged retirement savings on the table, year after year. Today, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen to you. We're breaking down IRA contribution limits, the rules that matter, and exactly how to make the most of this powerful retirement tool.
Before we get to the limits, let's make sure we're on the same page. IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. It's not a savings account. It's a tax-advantaged wrapper you put around investments like index funds, ETFs, or stocks. The government gives you special tax benefits to encourage retirement saving. There are two main types, Traditional and Roth. Traditional gives you a potential tax deduction now, and you pay taxes when you withdraw in retirement. Roth gives you no deduction now, but your money grows tax-free, and qualified withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. This is the trade-off Priya had to understand before she could choose which one was right for her.
Priya needed to know the $7,000. That's the 2024 IRA contribution limit for anyone under 50. If you're 50 or older, you get a catch-up contribution, bringing your total to $8,000 per year. Now, here's a rule that trips people up. This limit applies across all your IRAs combined. So if you have both a traditional and a Roth IRA, you can't put $7,000 into each. It's $7,000 total, split however you like. And you have until tax day, April 15, 2025, to make your 2024 contribution. That means if you haven't funded your IRA yet, you still have time. This was the deadline Priya didn't know about.
IRA contribution limits don't stay the same forever. The IRS suggests them periodically for inflation. Look at this chart. Back in 2019, the limit was $6,000. By 2023, it jumped to $6,500. And in 2024, it hit $7,000 for the first time. This matters because every increase is an opportunity. If you've been contributing the same amount for years without checking, you might be leaving extra tax-advantaged space unused. For Priya, realizing the limit had gone up meant she could shelter an extra $500 of her salary from taxes in 2024 compared to just 2 years earlier.
Here's where things get more complex and where Roth IRA rules differ from traditional. The IRS restricts who can contribute to a Roth IRA based on income. For 2024, if you're single and earn more than $146,000, your contribution limit starts to phase out. Once you hit $161,000, you can no longer contribute to a Roth IRA directly. For married couples filing jointly, that phase-out starts at $230,000 and cuts off at $240,000. Priya earned $58,000, so she was well within the limit. Great news for her. But if you earn more, don't panic. There's a legal strategy called the backdoor Roth IRA that higher earners use. We'll cover that in a future video, but know it exists.
Traditional IRA rules work a little differently. Anyone with earned income can contribute, regardless of how much they make. There's no income ceiling. But whether you can deduct that contribution from your taxes is a different story. If you have a workplace retirement plan, like a 401k, your ability to deduct a traditional IRA contribution phases out at lower income levels, starting at $77,000 for single filers in 2024. If you have no workplace plan, you can deduct the full amount regardless of income. One rule both IRA types share: you need earned income. Priya had her salary, so she qualified. Passive income like rental income or dividends alone won't count.
Here's the number that stopped Priya in her tracks. If she starts contributing $7,000 a year to her Roth IRA at age 31 and keeps it up until 65, she could accumulate approximately $612,000. And here's the part that makes a Roth IRA especially powerful. That entire amount could be withdrawn completely tax-free in retirement. That's because she pays taxes on her contributions now, while she's in a relatively low tax bracket. Every year she waits, that number drops significantly. This is for educational purposes only and assumes consistent 8% average annual returns, which are not guaranteed. But it illustrates why starting now matters so much. This chart drives home why starting matters. The green line shows someone who begins contributing $7,000 a year at age 31, like Priya. The blue line shows someone who waits until 41 to start. Both contribute the same annual amount, but the 10-year head start creates a massive gap by retirement. At age 65, the early starter has roughly twice the balance of the late starter. This is the magic of compound growth. Your money earns returns, then those returns earn returns. The longer it compounds, the bigger the snowball. And remember, inside a Roth IRA, all of that growth is potentially tax-free. Beyond the contribution limits, there are a few rules Priya needed to get straight. First, traditional IRAs require you to start taking required minimum distributions, or RMDs, at age 73. The IRS forces withdrawals so they can finally collect that tax. Roth IRAs have no RMDs during your lifetime, which is a significant advantage for estate planning. Second, withdrawing your money early, before age 59.5, generally triggers a 10% penalty on top of taxes. There are exceptions for things like first-time home purchases or disability. Third, and this is a Roth perk, you can withdraw your original contributions at any time, penalty-free, just not the earnings.
So which IRA should you choose? The honest answer is, it depends on your tax situation. Here's the rule of thumb most financial educators use. If you're in a lower tax bracket today, like Priya at $58,000, paying taxes now with a Roth is usually the smarter move, because your money grows and comes out tax-free later when your balance is much larger. If you're in a higher tax bracket now and expect to be in a lower bracket in retirement, a traditional IRA deduction saves you more money today. And if you genuinely don't know, many people split, contributing to both. You just can't exceed the $7,000 combined total. Priya ultimately chose Roth and immediately set up automatic monthly contributions.
Here's a stat that puts everything in perspective. According to Federal Reserve survey data, roughly 57% of Americans have no IRA at all. None. Zero. That means the majority of people are missing out on one of the most powerful tax advantage tools the government offers for retirement. And among those who do have IRAs, many don't contribute the maximum. Priya was unknowingly part of that majority for years, not because she couldn't afford it, but because she didn't understand the rules. Knowledge is the first step. Now that you have it, the next step is action. Even starting with $100 a month is better than nothing.
So what happened to Priya? Once she understood the rules, she opened a Roth IRA online in about 15 minutes, set up automatic contributions of $583 a month. That's $7,000 spread over 12 months, and invested it in a simple index fund. She didn't need a financial advisor to start. She just needed to understand the rules. Here's your action plan. If you're income eligible, open a Roth IRA today. Contribute what you can, even if it's not the full $7,000. Automate it so you don't have to think about it. And check the IRS limits every year because they do change. Small, consistent actions compound into life-changing wealth. That's the logic behind the limits and the logic behind this channel.
Everything in this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. IRA rules and contribution limits can change. Always verify current figures on irs.gov. Please consult a licensed financial advisor for guidance tailored to your personal